So you're thinking about investing in real estate, but you have no idea where to start. There's so many different paths on where you can go, and you're just kind of all over the place. Well, here are some few resources that you can use to get you going a little bit more, learning a little bit more, so that you can actually take that first step into investing in real estate. I'm going to give you some resources on books and some podcasts that you can start listening to so that you're ready to go. And the first book I'm going to recommend is The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. This one's by Gary Keller, and this thing is just so informative. It's really going to tell you not just what you can do in investing, but really how the process looks like from start to finish, and really what the big end goal is for you and how to set that process up. It's not just about finding rentals, it's not about finding this, it's just really about the big picture of investing and why you want to do it. The second book is What Every Real Estate Investor Needs to Know About Cash Flow. This book gives you so much information on numbers, because numbers is really the whole reason why we're here, right? To really know what to invest in and how much return we're going to get. And this book is going to tell you all the numbers you need to know to make sure you do it wisely and you don't screw up any deal and end up broke while you're real estate investing. Now, the third book is the book on estimating rehab costs. Now, if you've never done a flip, if you've never done any house projects, you might not have any idea how much it's going to cost to do a flip, how much it's going to cost to replace cabinets, to replace a bathroom, whatever it is. This book is going to give you a guide on how to figure that out, how to find the numbers so that you know going into a flip, going into something, that you're going to know how much it's going to cost and how much of a budget you're going to need. So this is a great book whether you're going to do flips or you're going to be a landlord and you have to fix up some apartments before you buy the building. Now, what about audio? Not everybody likes to read, so what kind of podcast can you listen to so that you can start learning and know what direction you need to go in? The very first podcast that's highly recommended by a lot of investors is the Bigger Pockets podcast. If you're an investor, you know about this podcast because there's so much gold in that podcast. You learn all the different areas in real estate investing. If there's something you want to do in real estate, somebody has probably been on that podcast before and has shown you how to do it successfully. So I highly recommend that podcast. There's endless episodes, so you can go on there forever and start listening and learning and applying what you're listening on that podcast. Now, the second podcast I would recommend is a local real estate investing podcast. Now, for me, I'm in Chicago. I like to listen to Straight Up Chicago podcast, and it gives us insight on local Chicago investors and what they're seeing in the neighborhood. Now, you might not live in Chicago, you might live somewhere else. Whatever that area is, I would look to find a local real estate investor podcast to try to find out more about what local investors are doing and how they're seeing the area and the market in your backyard. And you know what? If there is none, go create your own. What a better way to learn how to real estate invest by learning about people directly and talking to them and interviewing them to find out exactly what they did and how they did it. So if there's none by you, go ahead and start your own, start talking to people, start networking, and that's a great way to build your network so that you can start investing and you can have partners if you need it. Now, those are only a few resources. There is so much more out there that you can learn from, but the big thing to keep in mind is make sure to apply it. You could spend years of learning and never do it. Make sure what you're reading, you're applying and you're growing it to become a successful real estate investor. And again, there's so much out there. If you need any more resources, if you need any more book recommendations, send me a message and I would love to share with you so much more resources out there that can teach you about real estate investing. So best of luck on your journey to become a successful real estate investor.